additional seasonal character, and it will be with wipes, but the main character will stay without wipes. That's the plan.
Tarkov, arc raiders, and extraction shooters in general are all moving away from the wiping mechanic that they used to have. Up until this point in Tarkov and most extraction shooters, there's been wipes. And that means that your character gets reset, every single player's character on the server gets reset, your hideout gets reset on each major update. And this is a big change. Now, the reason most extraction shooters had wipes is because there's major loot inflation, which just means that, towards the end of each wipe, winning a big fight where you get a ton of gear and meta weapons doesn't really mean much anymore. Just because you have so much money in your stash, you have these hideouts that can, craft all this good gear, it doesn't really mean as much as it did earlier in the wipe. So having wipes kind of makes gameplay more exciting. It makes each fight more valuable. So the next logical question is, without wipes, how are we going to rebalance the economy and make it so that the top end players don't just have all the meta gear and that new players, when they come to play, can't really catch up? So the first answer to this is something that Tarkov has added recently, and that is the prestige system. So Tarkov introduced this 2 wipes ago. And basically, it's to add endgame content that keeps players playing longer and keeps the longevity of the wipe going. It also acts as a gear sink so that players have to, give up all their high-end meta gear when they reset their account. But for doing that, they get these, exclusive cosmetic rewards that are kind of cool. To me, at least, this is much more engaging than Lightkeeper, which I've gotten before. He is just not fun to go to. Number one, there's a bunch of time locks, and the quests that you unlock when you get them are not even that good or that fun to do anyways. So while the prestige system is good and it's definitely a good first step, the problem I have with it is that it's just very grindy to me, and doing the same quest 4 times over again is just not very fun at all. I don't know about you guys, but I'm really not looking to grab Prapper's Pocket Watch again. So the second answer to the replayability problem could be some sort of rank system. Arc Raiders mentioned in their Steam page that they're going to have a ranked trials mode, so I don't know what that's going to look like, but hopefully that adds some sort of layer of replayability or some sort of endgame content. I hope this works to kind of extend the life cycle of the game, because that's the only concern I have of a game with no wipes, is that how are you going to keep players, engaged enough to keep playing the game even when they have all the best gear? The other thing with this is, how is it going to deflate the economy the same way that wipes do? I have seen some posts in the Reddit community for Arc Raiders that they're wanting to have a prestige system. So maybe they could add that and add some cool cosmetic rewards. Some cool prestige rewards I think that both games could implement is something like a skill tree that's only unlocked if you wipe your stash or your hideout, or maybe both. Or maybe restricted hideout modules that are only unlocked after you wipe your account, your character. I'm sure there's more interesting or better ideas, but those are just something that come off the top of my head. I believe that for extraction shooters though, having that concrete gameplay loop that makes players want to grind later into the wipe or later into the game cycle is really important for the longevity of the game. And one thing I hate in Tarkov is when it gets to a point in the wipe where you really don't see that many players, or the players that you do see are just solos that are either grinding or they're newer to the game. And I really feel like I never even see squads this late into the Tarkov wipe. It's just it's not fun for me, and I don't know. I think it needs something to change. While I haven't played Arc Raiders and I don't really know their gameplay loop yet, to me, as someone who's played a lot of Tarkov and is about to Prestige for almost the 4th time, cosmetics alone are not really good enough for all the time and effort that you put in to grind for that. And I think they need to really think about that and be conscious of that as they're adding these kind of mechanics. Honestly, in its current state, prestiging in Tarkov is really less about skill, and it's more about how much time you could put in. How much, can you treat Tarkov like a job more than a video game? I am hopeful that this could be different in the future, and I think the fact that ABI, Arc Raiders are all coming out around Tarkov 1.0 will really light a fire under Battlestate's ass, and maybe it'll make them iterate and make more changes quickly. And while I am hopeful for Arc Raiders, I do think it is a different player base or different niche than Escape from Tarkov. Tarkov is definitely going to tilt more hardcore gamers, more Arma 3 players or more DayZ players. Whereas this could be the first extraction shooter that a lot of people play in Arc Raiders. So I think, you know, both are going to be really good. Both are going to be fun. And I'm kind of just excited for what we have coming up in these next couple of weeks. If you enjoyed this video though, I plan to make a bunch more videos on Arc Raiders and on Tarkov as they get closer to release. So please subscribe and, you know, leave a like and a comment down below about what you liked, what you didn't like, and have a great day.